Tonight at 6, millions of dollars are on the way to Superior's port, how it could boost the city's economy. Plus, as Duluth's first snow emergency expires at this hour, some confusion today over when cars could return to the routes. And an Ely man's final good deed, how the community is remembering Greg Mosier, who saved a life just days before losing his own.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening. I'm Briggs LaSavage. Kristen is off tonight. Thanks for joining us. More than $240 million in federal grant money will support port projects throughout the country. We're learning the city of Superior is set to get a big share of that. CBS 3's Larissa Millis spoke with city leaders today and breaks down how this grant will help boost the local economy.
Yeah, Briggs, the U.S. Department of Transportation, through the Maritime Administration's Port Infrastructure Development Program, has awarded Superior more than $8 million. The city plans to use that money to help the Sea Rice Company rehabilitate a dock it owns in the western part of the city's port. The total projected cost of the project is around $17 million, so this grant is expected to cover about half of it. The Sea Rice Company currently operates out of Duluth, but issues with increased water levels of about a foot and annual flooding are causing problems with production. Because of that, they've been working to relocate to the Superior dock they already own, which has been unused for more than 30 years. The grant will help fund various projects at the site, including repair of a dock wall, dredging, rail improvements, stormwater improvements, and the construction of an office space. Jason Sirk with the city says these project improvements will benefit not only Sea Rice and Superior, but the Twin Ports as a whole.
They will be expanding their capabilities of being able to handle material rail-wise. They're going to almost double what they're doing in Duluth right now. So that'll be a really good thing, a good economic generator for the city of Superior, but also for the Twin Ports.
Additional funding for the project will come from Sea Rice, the United States Environmental Protection Agency, and Wisconsin DOT's Harbor Assistance Program. According to project officials, this grant money will help Sea Rice move an additional 1 million tons of material per year. Currently, they work mostly with coal, limestone, petroleum coke, and salt. Superior first applied for the grant in 2020, but did not receive it. The project is expected to take a couple of years to complete, with the site being operational in about a year and a half.
All right, Larissa Millis reporting live for us in the studio tonight. Thanks, Larissa. Meanwhile, Wisconsin Dells police arrested a man who allegedly fired a crossbow at officers. The man barricaded himself and a woman in a bedroom this morning. The suspect threatened to shoot her, so police negotiated with him for hours, and eventually SWAT teams went in and tried to rescue the woman. That's when the suspect fired the crossbow. No one was hurt, and the suspect was taken into custody. The temporary memorial for victims of the attack on a parade in Waukesha is being taken down. In November, police say the driver of an SUV plowed into a group of people at the annual Christmas parade, killing 6. The crash injured 62 others. Police arrested Darrell Brooks and charged him with 6 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. During a brief ceremony today, Waukesha's mayor says the memorial showed how unified the community became and gave citizens a place to grieve and reflect.
We decommissioned this memorial not to end our grieving, but to move to a new place as a community, a place where we will better understand and acknowledge our pain, all while continuing to help those who are suffering.
The Waukesha County Historical Society will preserve items from that memorial. The city plans to consider creating a permanent memorial next month. Police are still searching for a suspect tonight after a Virginia man was shot through his living room window. It happened at South 5th Avenue and 12th Street. Virginia police say the victim was dropped off at the hospital just after 5 this morning. The suspect fired multiple shots and then ran off. They say there's no threat to the community, but no word on the victim's condition tonight or if he and the suspect knew each other. Dave joins us now for a quick look at the weather. Dave, a very, very cold one out there today.
Yeah, temperatures have been coming down ever since our low pressure system left around midnight last night. after depositing several inches of snow in our area, which messed up the roads, of course, and they're slowly but surely recovering. Let's get a look at the latest status then out there in case you have to make a late night run here. Well, most of Minnesota looking at some scattered slippery spots, but that's a great improvement from the completely covered roads of just a few hours ago. Things are improving more quickly from the south up towards the north, but there is a stretch of Northern Highway 61 that's doing pretty good at the moment. Wisconsin's looking at slippery spots on most roads now too, but the hardworking road crews are working their best to keep that getting better and better all the time. Then you get a little bit farther over towards the snow belt where the snow was the lightest. Go figure. Good conditions have returned there as well. We could go down a little bit again tomorrow, though, because there's about a 30% chance for light snow on Thursday, but very light compared to what we got last night and the day before. Flurries coming in from a low-pressure system before another wave of cold air hits us. So, short-term forecast says it'll be cool tonight, around 5 below, and we follow that up with a high of 15 and a cloudy sky for Thursday with a 30% chance for light snow. After that, we will cool down even farther and we'll clear up for the weekend. The new year kicks off with a cold snap, and I'll talk about how low the temps will go in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Multiple people were hurt in another major crash on I-94 near Eau Claire today. It happened just before 9 this morning. The State Patrol says it involved several semi versus car crashes, and there were also a number of smaller crashes in the traffic backup and a lot of cars in the median. It took more than 2 hours to clear that scene, and that stretch of road was closed for a while. Duluth's first snow emergency is officially over, expiring just about 5 minutes ago. It was declared yesterday afternoon, and people were supposed to move their cars off those routes by 9 last night and keep them off until 6 tonight. CBS3's Natalie Grant found out today that did spark some confusion. She joins us live from downtown Duluth. Natalie, what do they have to say?
Well, Briggs, I'm down here on Superior Street, which is one of those snow emergency routes. Cars are now officially able to come back and park along this street. But from what we saw driving around today, some people took that risk and came down those plowed streets before that 6 p.m. deadline. Now, while city officials say that things went well for their first snow emergency, there's still room for some citywide improvement when it comes to following the policy.
They are ticketing and they are towing everybody on 4th Street.
This was the scene in the early morning hours Wednesday as plow crews made their way down snow emergency routes, ticketing and towing some cars that didn't move by the 9 p.m. deadline. But as the sun rose, it revealed what the city is calling a success for their first snow emergency.
We've seen a lot of compliance, which is great. We've seen areas that need more compliance, which is expected.
Plow crews hit the roads around 2 a.m. and were plowing residential streets by 6 a.m., which city spokespeople say is ahead of schedule. But while roads looked clear, cars were still not allowed back on snow emergency routes until 6 p.m. Wednesday, an important detail that was not received by all.
So we have encouraged the hospitals and other businesses to remind their staff and their visitors that this is the policy and that if they make that choice to park on snow emergency routes, that they could be subject to getting ticketed and towed.
For Duluth's New London Cafe, which is located on a snow emergency route, they made the difficult decision to close down Wednesday to eliminate confusion and keep their customers safe.
It is a busy street, and when we have customers here tomorrow, you know, if it was icy and nasty, it could pose a risk.
For owner Jonathan Jenkins, closing was a big choice. But in this case, the pros outweighed the cons.
It is tough to close down as a business owner. It'd be difficult for the employees as well. But we hope that the community responds and comes and joins us for breakfast tomorrow morning.
And with the first snow emergency under our belts, Duluth leaders say they can continue to adapt and respond to whatever Mother Nature has in store. Van Dale added that because this is the first time that they're putting this policy into place, they will have to make adjustments as are needed, including targeting much more different areas to follow those policies. She says about 50 cars were towed off of the street last night and much more were ticketed. We're expecting to learn those exact numbers tomorrow. Briggs?
All right, thank you, Natalie. And if you own a car that was towed overnight, you're asked to contact the police to locate it. Meanwhile, the Northland is bracing for an Arctic blast, and first responders are prepping for an uptick in medical calls. The Duluth Fire Department responds to hundreds of calls for hypothermia and frostbite each year. Depending on the temperature, frostbite can happen in just seconds. According to the DFD, more than 1,000 people in the U.S. die each year from hypothermia. It is preventable if you take precautions, know the conditions, dress warmly, and have a safety kit on hand.
You can carry some things in your car, such as warm packs, blankets, extra set of clothing, matches if you were to ever need to start a fire. Always have a cell phone with you.
Another good tip, let someone know where you're going and when you plan to get there. That way, if you're late, they know who to call for help. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, the Ely community is coming together to remember the good deeds of a fallen stranger. We'll explain why next.
After last night's snow, the cold air has already arrived. We went to 8 below in Duluth this morning with a high of only 12. Below normal on both counts, and that's where we'll stay for several more days. Any more snow coming our way? There is a chance tomorrow. I'll talk about if it's a big one or a little one right after our break.
I'm telling you, you should open a business.
I wouldn't know where to begin.
I've got an idea.
I hope you like it.
I love it. Just one question. What's that?
It's a chair. New plan. You make the furniture, I make the ideas, NBC makes them happen.
That was always the plan.
Bring us your best ideas. National Bank of Commerce. We make more possible.
When you have a faculty and a group of people in a school that care about me and want me to succeed in life, it really increases your self-confidence, your enthusiasm about school, and that's LSC.
Here's a reality check. COVID-19 is still here.
Rising cases are straining healthcare resources in our community.
We're all tired.
We are all exhausted.
Know that we are still committed to caring for you.
But we need your help.
We're asking you.
Please.
Get vaccinated.
Get your booster.
Mask up in public.
Social distance.
For you.
Your family.
Our community.
For all of us.
Thank you.
Couple questions.
Do you think it's time for schools to reopen?
There is some positive breaking news.
We've got a lot of important new information for you and your family.
Doesn't really matter who you are, where you live. You have to any family.
People reach a crisis moment and they don't see any other way out.
Suicide is the fourth leading cause of death for people ages 25 to 34. People struggle with it every day.
Hi, I'm Representative Tom Tiffany. If you or your loved one struggles with their mental health and/or thoughts of suicide, no, you are not alone. Reach out for help and talk to someone.
This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Cancer research requires bold and innovative thinking. You may be able to help science uncover the next breakthrough by sharing your patient data and unique experience with researchers. Join Stand Up to Cancer and count me in at standuptocancer.org/countmein.
This is surgical residency. I see a lot of weaknesses.
My father and I disagree about a lot of things. Here's what I see. Inspiring men, brilliant doctors. Let's get to work. Dad, I understand that you want to go back to a time where you were in charge and dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Ouch.
But things change. Guys, whose phone is it?
Unprofessional. Oh, it's me.
Sophia Bush is Good Sam. Premieres Wednesday, January 5th on CBS.
Get your news on the go. The CBS3 mobile app. CBS3 Sports is brought to you by St. Luke's. Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Snow totals from last night. Well, we'll call them moderate. They ran roughly from 3 to 7 inches on the 7-inch range. Up on the range, Mountain Iron, 7 inches. Duluth, the Kenwood neighborhood, 7 inches coming from our weather watcher, Phil Snavy. Bayfield, 6. Lutsen, 6. McKinley, 6, also on the range. French River, 5.5. Superior, 4.3. And Cloquet, 3.0. Well, tomorrow another snow chance is coming our way, but this one should go about a trace to maybe 2 inches, and I'll show you who's going to get what in just a little bit. Right now, I show you the current conditions from Duluth International. It's one above, hanging on to positive numbers, at least for a little while longer. Mostly cloudy skies already building back in after sunshine today, and a westerly northwesterly winds hitting us at 6 miles per hour. Relative humidity is 69%, and the wind chill factor, it already feels like 10 below, and some towns actually could go towards 10 below tonight with the real air temperature. And we'll show you who's going to get that as well after we take a look now at the current temperatures, where we're already also close to 10 below from Ely to Ora to International Falls to Big Fork. Already 10 below Grand Rapids, 11 below for Hibbing and for Eveleth. And again, temperatures may actually increase overnight as clouds increase, but it still could be a bit brisk. International Falls may go to 20 below. We're looking at 1 below Superior, 0 in Ashland, and 1 to 3 in the Upper Peninsula. And folks in Wisconsin and Michigan won't be quite as cold, at least not yet. The chill is still going to continue through the weekend. Doppler map, well, it shows a clearer sky was with us earlier today, but now the clouds are coming back in, and those clouds are associated with a small low pressure system that's coming in from South Dakota. That's going to bring us that chance for light snow tomorrow, about a 30% chance at best, and then a reinforcing shot of Arctic high pressure comes in to make the weekend pretty chilly, to put it lightly. No, snow tomorrow, if it pays off, I'm thinking a trace to 2 inches. The trace more likely in Minnesota, the 1 to 2 inches probably for the South Shore. Then it's going to dry up for really quite a spell and cool down as well. Looking at Friday's forecast map in the afternoon, partly sunny sky with a high of only 5, for example, here in the Twin Ports. Getting into Saturday morning, could be as cold as 25 below for our friends in International Falls and close to 20 below here for the Twin Ports. But the cold spell could snap as early as next Tuesday. We'll show you what a warm-up means this time of year after we look at tonight's forecast in Minnesota, where low temps will go 20 below International Falls to 0 by the lake. Mostly cloudy sky builds in from an advancing low. Wisconsin, Michigan low temps, child's play, 6 below in Hayward to 1 above for Ashland. Tomorrow, high temps run about 17 to 23 for our friends in Wisconsin and Michigan, with a 20% chance for that light snow there. It's a 30% chance in Minnesota, with a high of only 2 near International Falls and a toasty high temp of 18 for Two Harbors. Okay, extended forecast here. The really chilly temperatures come around Saturday and Sunday, and in the morning, even Duluth Superior could go 15 to 20 below. But a warm-up arrives by Tuesday, Briggs, back to 22 above. An overnight low of 5 degrees above 0. That warm-up sets us up for our next snow chance, which looks to be a light round next Wednesday.
Good. At least we have a few days to, mentally prepare for that next snow round.
Mentally prepare and tune up the snowblower.
Yeah, prepare the snowblowers and the shoveling backs and what have you.
Yeah, I did some of that this morning, too.
Yeah, I think we all had a little taste of the shovel this week. Thanks, Dave. A Northland resident's final good deed is making a lasting impact less than a week after his death. Last Wednesday, a fire broke out at Lynn Denio's home in Ely. Unaware of the fire, Denio and her sister were getting ready to take a nap when they heard a knock on their door. The knocker, Greg Mosier, who was out walking his dog with his family when he noticed smoke coming from Denio's home. Floored by that good deed, Denio took to Facebook to find the man who saved her life, only to find out that Mosier had died from an unrelated health condition just 2 days later. She says when she found out, she couldn't help but think he was meant to be there.
But I believe God put him there for a reason, and maybe this was what he was supposed to do before he passed on, to show his family that great things can come out of small deeds.
Mosier was just 58 years old, and coming up tonight at 10, we'll hear more from one of Mosier's close friends about why they weren't surprised by his final act and his lasting impact on the Ely community. Well, police in Eau Claire have arrested a man who allegedly got stuck in a bush with a bag of cocaine. The arrest happened on Christmas morning. Police tried to stop the vehicle that the suspect was a passenger in. After that chase, a vehicle stopped and the suspect ran off. He jumped into a bush and he couldn't get out, so an officer had to pull him free and found a bag containing 25 grams of cocaine in his pocket. He faces multiple counts, including cocaine, possession, resisting an officer, and carrying a concealed weapon.
The old stopping.
I was just about to say Duncan Goldberg coming to us from Eau Claire recently. Surprised, maybe?
I am surprised by that one. That's a plot twist.
I think most people would be surprised to see that. I think the officer was probably the most surprised.
Yeah, he was like, "What are you doing, man? Come on." Yeah.
What's going on in sports, Duncan?
Well, the UMD women, they're back on the ice this upcoming weekend. They have a tough test against Harvard. Plus, one of the top teams in all of high school hockey was back in action, looking to get back to their winning ways.
Join us weeknights for Live at 5 as we go around the Northland, city by city.
When severe weather hits, tune to CBS 3 for up-to-date coverage morning and night. CBS 3 Live Cams, brought to you by KohlerChef.com, now featuring the Kohler Express Deal online buying solution. KohlerChef.com, a better way to buy.
Ring in 2022 with the biggest cash bash of the year. New Year's Eve hot seats and drawings at Black Bear Casino Resort. On New Year's Eve from 5 p.m. until 2 a.m., New Year's morning, 2 hot seat players each hour will win up to $1,000 cash. And 5 drawings each hour will start the new year off right for the lucky winners with up to $10,000 cash. That's 70 winners for a grand total of over $75,000 cash. Earn entry starting December 26th. Visit BlackBearCasinoResort.com for more information and make the Bear your place to ring in 2022.
I've heard nothing but great reviews. Mediacom's Wi-Fi 360 Pro has really been a game changer for our customers.
The Wi-Fi 360 Pro can handle speeds up to 1 gig, which is phenomenal for any kind of at-home usage.
A lot of them are happy with it because they get 2,000 square feet of coverage in the house. So you have coverage in your upstairs, garage, and all across the home.
Get Extreme Wi-Fi 360 Pro free for 3 months when you add Extreme Internet.
When news breaks, be the first to know with CBS 3. Alerting you with our mobile app, taking you live to the scene.
Currently a fire underway.
Bringing you complete coverage on air.
Inside the deck.
Showing you what's happening now, what's next, how it affects you. Focused on urgency. Focused on accuracy. When news breaks in your neighborhood, be the first to know. With live, local CBS 3.
Hi, Gail King here, inviting you to join us every morning right here on CBS. We'll have the important stories and the interviews, all the news that matters really, and best of all, we'll have a good time together. We like to do that. And now you can find us anytime you want on the new Paramount Plus app. So we'll see you every morning right here on CBS. I thought that one was pretty good.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I got into journalism when I was in high school, actually, and that's where I really fell in love with the news and the storytelling aspect of it. Being able to bring those things together and keep people informed. It's so important for us to be in a community like Duluth, to be able to hear your stories and then bring them to everybody else in the community.
Watch Caitlin and Jenna in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m.
The UMD women's hockey team is back on the ice this weekend to start the second half of their season. Bulldogs, they hit the road to Cambridge, Massachusetts to take on the Harvard Crimson. No current UMD player has matched up against the Crimson in a Bulldog sweater, although transfer forward Elizabeth Jaguar did play them when she was at Clarkson. It's an uncommon opponent, but with the expanded NCAA tournament this season, it'll be a huge series for pairwise position because it's their last non-conference series of the year.
We haven't played now in 3 weeks, so I think all of us are very excited to be back on the ice again. So we're just going to bring that into this series this weekend.
You know, when we pick non-conference matchups, we try to bring our team to places that they can, get a good experience at, as well as a great hockey experience. So I think we will get that this weekend for sure.
Cromwell and some players also talked at length this morning about their disappointment with the IIHF about the canceling of the second straight Women's U18 Worlds. And that frustration comes as the IIHF attempted to continue to host the men's events such as the World Juniors Tournament up in Canada, but that came to an unfortunate halt today as well. The IIHF announced the cancellation of the Men's World Juniors Championship today due to COVID-19. They had already canceled multiple games, including one of Team USA's games yesterday. After a third game was canceled today, they deemed that the sportive integrity of the event had been compromised, forcing the cancellation. And we're staying on the ice for the #1 ranked Hermantown Hawks. Last week, the Hawks took their first loss of the season today. They look to avenge that loss, battling Orono. And the Hawks still a dominating team at 6-1 on the season. Hawks on the break in the first. It turns into a slip and slide in front of the net, but Dallas Vio stays on his skates, giving Hermantown the 1-0 lead. And then with 37 seconds left in the period, Max Platt, he gets jacked up but still gets the puck to Cade Kohanski, who puts it in the top right corner. Hawks lead 2-0 after one. And then less than 2 minutes into the period, here we go again. Bo Janzig rips it on net. Wyatt Carlson right there for the tip-in to finish it off. 3-0 Hermantown as the Hawks, they pile it on from there en route to a 6-0 victory. And some tough news today for the Minnesota Vikings, who will be without star wide receiver Adam Thielen for the rest of the season. Thielen has had season-ending surgery on his ankle, which he re-aggravated this Sunday in the Vikings matchup against the Los Angeles Rams. Thielen has been placed on the IR, and this couldn't happen at a worse time for the Vikes, who sit at 7-8 on the season and desperately need 2 wins to even have a chance of making the playoffs. That journey starts this Sunday night against the Green Bay Packers. And make sure you tune back in tonight at 10 because we have a full slate of high school sports holiday action on the ice. Top 10 ranked Duluth Denfeld is back in action hosting Owatonna, plus some Northland matchups on the hardwood with Esco hosting Marshall, Proctor battling Cromwell Wright, and Esco taking on Hermantown in girls hoops as well. Full slate of those highlights.
Yeah, real busy night for you.
Real busy, yes.
Thanks, Duncan. Well, before we go, the Wisconsin DNR is asking you to take a hike for the new year. They're inviting everyone to take a first-day hike through one of Wisconsin's state parks. The event is celebrated all across the nation. The DNR will host guided tours through many of those parks. In our area, that includes Amnicon, Buckhorn, and Mirror Lake State Parks. Also, the Richard Bong State Recreation Area, too. So, Dave, it's going to be a chilly one to take a hike on Saturday.
January 1st, folks should bundle up if they take advantage of that great offer. You know, it's survivable. We've done it all these years. We just have to do it again.
Wear the right
cool down
clothes.
is coming after a chance for a little light snow tomorrow. Let's get a look at that 7-day forecast. Tomorrow's snow chance, it's 30% to a trace for a trace to 2 inches. Not a huge deal compared to the last 2 nights. Then Friday, a little sunnier, a little cooler. Saturday and Sunday, that's the chilly one. High temps 0 to 3 above. Overnight lows 15 to 20 below, even here in the Duluth and Superior area. Probably 30 below farther inland, but then we moderate as the weekend fades away and the week starts. Could hit 22 above by Tuesday.
All right, thankful for that. We'll see you back here at 10.